Changers. Season 1, The World of Aviation. Episode 2. This simply had to be the Douglas DC-3. This little plane was vital in the growth of air travel and helped make the industry become slightly cheaper at the time. Before we begin, I humbly ask you to like, share and subscribe. It will really help this channel grow and enable me to keep bringing you quality content. Well, to give a brief historical overview, we must start way back in 1931. TWA, now that is Transcontinental and Western Air, it became Transworld later, had crashed one of their Fokker F-10s. They asked for a new plane to compete with rival United's Boeing 247. Douglas reluctantly started working on a new all-metal aircraft. The prototype, named Douglas Commercial 1, flew in 1933. However, TWA wanted extra seats, and so work started on the larger DC-2. TWA ordered 20 of these. Even European airlines bought them, including KLM, LOT, and Swiss Air. This aircraft was quite popular, and 130 civilian examples were built, as well as 62 military aircraft. Now on to the DC-3. American Airlines wanted new sleeper aircraft based on the successful DC-2, which was however too narrow to accommodate side-by-side berths. After American ordered 20 aircraft, development of the larger DST, or Douglas Sleeper Transport, began. On December 17, 1935, the 32nd anniversary of the Wright brothers' first flight, the first DST took to the air. It had capacity for 16 sleeping berths, or 21 seats. This latter version became known as the DC-3. This airplane rapidly spread through the US. Transcontinental flights to the East Coast took only 15 hours with 3 refueling stops. Westbound was 17.5 hours due to prevailing winds from the west. This, while today it seems like forever, was the first time that passengers could fly across America in one plane. Before, it was many short flights and often a train journey by night. The main reason as to why it was so fast was of course its engines. There were two main options. The 9-cylinder Wright or 1820 Cyclo 9 was the one fitted to most early production civilian aircraft. The other, the Pratt & Whitney or 1830 Twin Wasp, was a 14-cylinder engine, this being the chosen one by the military. And that brings us nicely onto the war period. Many of the civilian DC-3s were drafted for the war, as well as over 10,000 military versions built, these being the C-47, C-53, or 4D, and the Dakota. They were mainly operated as cargo and troop transports. One notable involvement was the Berlin airlift, which could not have been possible at the scale it occurred at without the DC-3. What strengthened its position even more was foreign production. They were licensed built in Japan as the Showa L2D with 487 aircraft, and in the USSR as the Lishanov LE-2 with 4,937 aircraft. So the war is over and thousands of former military transports flooded the market, and due to something called economics, they become cheap. And now every airline can comfortably transport passengers and cargo. This is what changed the industry back then. The DC-3 enabled it to grow rapidly and bring some good out of the war. Douglas did want to make the most of this new market, and so they developed the Super DC-3. This had a new wing as well as more power and therefore more cargo capacity. However, the flooded market broke this project. Only 5 were ever built. Some military DC-3s were converted though. Well, I could certainly talk about this for a good long while, but don't worry, I'm not going to. So let's move on to the legacy. The DC-3 could never be truly replaced. The Fokker F-27 Friendship tried with only limited success. Douglas grew the type into the DC-4 and eventually all the way to the DC-7. However, DC-3s remain in service even today. Out of the 16,000, about 2,000 remain in service. The saying, only a DC-3 can replace a DC-3, seems to be very appropriate. Some have been converted to turboprops, but most still use the reliable pistons. This incredible operational history is what makes this a game changer, and it will remain so for many more glorious years. Anyway guys, that is all I have for you today. Like if you liked it, share if you really liked it, and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.